Good evening. As you can see, we are no longer in Kansas. In fact, we've moved all the way across the world. We started off around here, somewhere, I think, yes, right over there, and we had to flee a very dangerous raid. We ran all the way down south, did a little trading with the androids over here, and decided to set up home over here in Oceantus. We have our 9 androids currently sitting around. A few of them joined us just before we left, Cho and Melfina being those two. We lost a few people along the way, Furry Faster and Pickles specifically did not make the cut, unfortunately. But our new map is much more defensible. As you can see, there's sort of this natural caldera here we can use to our defense, or our advantage rather. I think we're going to dig ourselves deep into the mountains for this one. And we have a bit of sort of fertile ground over here we could potentially break into to farm, but I think for now we're going to play it a lot safer. While our busy little droids go about clearing out this area, we can also address something that was discovered in the previous episode. Now, if you weren't able to watch the whole thing, and I understand why, it was an hour long, you will not know that the mimes we encountered in episode 2 actually do have a very specific trigger. They are triggered by an individual colonist's lack of food. So basically, once Pollo here hits 0 energy and gets the malnutrition debuff, for the entire time that he has that debuff, there is a % chance for him to turn into a mime if a storyteller event is scheduled to happen. It basically forces it to be that event. Storyteller events vary in quite a bit in frequency. Basically, it's tied to the kind of storyteller. So that Serenese Sadistic we had previously, she gives you something every day. So we were getting mime events every single day while people were hungry. So what I've done is gone ahead and turned back on the edible plants thing until we can get a good food or power supply set up. And we're just going to have to live with that for now. We also have this anima tree right in the middle of our caldera, which is not great, because this thing is going to eventually die and then piss off everyone in the area. We don't have any humans on the map just yet, and this won't affect the androids that we've got. They're too basic. So I think we're going to go ahead and just cut this thing down now, get it out of the way. Yeah, it's not going to be very happy. It might piss off a few animals. I think that is a possibility, but I have got this marble door here, which I've forbidden, so hopefully that will keep any nasties out just for now. Okay, we've gone ahead and set up a very basic kill box over here and some simple power. We're going to throw down a couple of simple batteries while we're at it as well, so we can begin to utilize all of these valuable components that we're currently throwing away. These won't short circuit because they are sheltered by that thin rock roof above them. And we do have a very limited supply of components. In fact, actually, I should move my storage under cover. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll just shrink the zone down. We should have enough space for everything. Now, okay, the next thing we're going to talk about here is somewhat more important to me, which is defense and long-term planning. So I noticed that we do actually have this natural structure over here, which is not being used by anyone. It is a steel basic double door setup, and it's actually a fairly good access point to this area of the map, which gives us 2 more steam geysers. So for now, I'm going to sort of dig towards it, and let's actually interrupt that slightly. I don't want to break out just yet, but we're going to put our very basic base just over here for now, and then we'll very likely expand this way into the mountain. We are going to have to chill this whole place down to freezing, -17 specifically, which is going to be a nightmare in the jungle, but it is what it is. Thankfully, we're not actually in a tropical rainforest, we're just in a regular old temperate forest, so we should be okay. And as our androids are working hard at our new defensive structures, Naomi here needs a new name. We're going to be calling her Flex. Flex is a long-time subscriber of the channel and part of pretty much every single Rimworld series I've done, so welcome back and thank you very much for your continued support. This time round, you're an excellent cook and a decent plant worker. You're also not going to be doing any crafting. A blank station cook, huh? Well, you served hundreds of inhabitants and visitors every day. Well, you've got to deal with 9 now. I think you can handle that. Pointing out, by the way, that we are currently on the 3rd day of this quadrum, which gives us 12 more days with our current storyteller, who is in fact Randy Random. Now, at the end of the previous episode, we had a bit of a problem with the hot seat mod. When the quadrum ticked over, I was actually in the world, not on this map tile, and so it didn't change us over from Ego Invader to our next storyteller. So I just sort of forced it manually to be Randy Random because I figured at least that was still random in some way, right? And so he is in fact our current one. I'm not too worried about it being a problem at the end of this quadrum because the trigger for the storyteller change is the change of seasons, so it should be okay. I don't think it's tied to the actual date, because as you can see, we're slightly off. We should be on the 3rd of April, May, but we're on the 5th, even though we've been here for 63 days, apparently. It should be okay. When April, May ends, we should get the next storyteller, so this episode might be slightly shorter time-wise. Then, secondly, we have another name I'd like to add. This one was not requested, but it is one I'm going to add anyway, and it's pretty much a staple of our playthroughs, is to say thank you to the Senate. So I'm going to call this one here Sidious. Welcome to the party, Sidious. I will get you a cloak fairly soon. Yeah, another long-time subscriber of the channel. If anybody else would like their name in-game, please do go ahead and leave a comment down below. I add everybody who requests. No problems with it, just as long as the name isn't too profane, it's no problem at all. So, yeah, leave your suggestions down below if you'd like to see your name at the top of the screen. Cutting back quickly, for our very first colonist join of the new map, we have Joanna here, who is in fact a farmer. Now, interestingly enough, she did not join on the 5th of April, May, as I suspected she might. No, she joined on the 65th day. So we are still on the same time schedule that the scenario was set up for, which is a good sign that things are still running just fine in the back end. Joanna is an excellent plant worker and very good with animals. If anyone would like to claim her as a colonist, I'm more than happy to move names around. Furry Faster did die in a blaze of glory to save us all, so perhaps they deserve a new knife. As did Pickles, in fact. So, you know, Melfina here, they're still very much up for grabs. As I believe is Heisen and Holmes. In fact, both of these colonists. We have 4 total names, and by the end of this episode, we should have 6. So if anybody would like their name in game, you know what to do. Anyway, before I got distracted, what I was trying to say was that we have our first beds up, and we are now officially out of components. I've given the first 2 beds to Bradley and Joanna. Bradley's our miner. We can't have him going on us. Chappie and Arnold cannot go mime, neither can Flex, because all 3 of them are actually, well, Flex was a recruit, but Chappie and Arnold were the initial colonists, so none of them came as wanderers, which means that they can't have the mime event, from what I understand. However, all 6 of these guys over here absolutely can go mime on us. So Bradley and Joanna are going to start off as our T2s, and therefore most valuable of our new joins. Next one's going to, of course, be for Sidious. Let's go ahead and give him a bed. We'll give the next one to Melfina as our researcher. The next one can go to Holmes, as they're actually a decent chef. And let's just make sure that these guys are in fact using their batteries. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so now what that basically means is that they won't eat the plants anymore. They will actually go and recharge nominally, which is really good to see. The rest of our guys are going to have to survive on what little is lying around until this first harvest of rice comes in. Now, we may actually have to go out and pick some berries, by the look of things, yeah. In fact, actually, once this rice field is sown, I think we're going to do exactly that. Okay, and Randy's first raid of the episode has begun. We have a man-hunting pack of Bengal cats. This is hell, to be honest. Arnold, I need you to go ahead and hold this hair. Bradley, you just stay in base. Everybody else, pull together. Come and stand here at the door, people. They're going to come right up to this thing, and we're actually going to hold it open because I want those cats to come in, and I want the free food. We could definitely use it. God, I just remembered I can't actually do this. I can't draft them because they'll all go mime on me, so I've got to play it very carefully. We can't actually wait at the barricades for raids like you would with normal colonists, because these dudes will snap and go kaboom the second that they turn hungry. Yeah, this mime thing is really adding like a layer of difficulty I wasn't expecting. Like it was completely unintentional. This was a mistake. To be honest, I wasn't meant to do this. Like, this wasn't supposed to be part of the playthrough. I selected the wrong Wanderer Joins option from the menu, and so now it's just part of what we're doing. We're rolling with it though. We're rolling with it. It'll be fine. So now hopefully these Bengal cats fight the insects. I don't know if they will. They are able to path to me, so maybe. But it's genuinely like 50-50 shot that they won't. I have no idea if this is going to work. Okay, Sidious and Holmes are currently resting. You guys need to come here, please. Okay, let me do a quick food check on everyone. Energy's looking good for most. Flex isn't going to pop on me. Sidious is going to charge up. That's good. Yeah, everyone's kind of fine. Poyo, you don't actually have a pod, so you're just going to have to make do, man. Don't get too hungry. You can eat the bodies when they've come through. I wish the androids could eat the rotting ones. They won't, though, just like a normal colonist. They're too good for that. Arnold's actually fine on energy, so we could get Pollo here to eat this rabbit. Yeah, actually, wait, buddy, come do that. Yeah, consume the hair. I mean, I'm sure people are wondering why I'm not killing this thing. It's just not worth it, to be honest. Oh, that wild heatroot's grown enough to eat? Alright, well, go ahead, Heisenwei. I'm not going to stop you, man. Okay, Pollo, yeah, you chow down, get some food in you. And it looks like the insects are asleep, so the cats are just going to dodge them. Alright, well, I mean, that's going to happen, right? So let's get our best melee fighters on the edges. We're going to want Chappie, for sure. Bradley, you are fragile. You come and stand here. Pollo with your shotgun, you pull up south. Who's my other good fighter? I have one more. Is it Sidious? Yeah, Sidious is my other good brawler. He is unfortunately a T1, but we'll just have to make do. For now, Arnold can tank it though. He's got the mono sword. He should be fine. Okay, first Bengal's down. This is going to be all about crowd control. Okay, come on. There we go. That's one more. Chappie, I'm going to need you to switch to your spear and use it. There we go. We need to make sure as many of our guns stay in the game as possible. Arnold's keeping the fort down very nicely here on the left flank. That's good. Or rather, he's holding down the fort. Chappie, looks like you got shot. That's a lot of damage for a cat. Oh, no, it's cats. Okay. Damn. Yeah. Well, that was anticlimactic. Okay. That went a lot better than expected. We have a bunch of food lying around the place now. That's great. Who is my cook, actually? It is Holmes. Is Holmes going ahead to dumping stockpile 2? Let's see if he goes and butchers them. He should. What are you doing, Holmes? You're researching. Oh, because Flex is butchering. Right, okay. Flex is a good cook. In fact, you know what? Just go ahead and throw that stuff on the floor. It's probably slightly better inside than out for now. So we just received an interesting quest here. We have a caravan to Oakvale request, which is very, very close to us. That settlement's about a day away. Now, they want 870 cloth for a side trainer and some plasteel. 7 side trainers and some plasteel. Or some goodwill. We'll probably go for the goodwill. But I don't know if we can get 870 cloth in time. Because they want this in... Oh, it doesn't actually say. The travel time is 10 hours. It expires in 7.9 days. We're going to wait to accept this. I am probably going to take it once we've got this harvest of cotton in. We should be able to make it just in time. What is the grow time on cotton? 8 days. Yeah, and this is almost halfway there. So another 6 days or so. Maybe 5. And we'll have that. That would be some really... Because if we can get them to ally with us, they'll come and help us. They're currently at plus 12. I think we have to get to 75 to ally them. But with some trading and with some more questing, we could get there. I mean, 37 gets us a hell of a long way towards that goal. And we're not going to be using the cotton for anything else. So, I suppose we could make clothing and sell it. I think the goodwill's worth more, though. Anyway, I'll think about that. That's a tough one. Oh, Randy just keeps on giving here. We had a strange asteroid land. We have Octuran sky eels floating about the place. The Octuran sky eel is a weird space-born creature that inhabits the asteroids of a system's asteroid belt. They are usually not found on a planet's surface unless they are somehow brought to it. Well, I mean, that's clearly our case. The body of a sky eel is surprisingly light, and they have no problems flying through a terrestrial atmosphere. They also have electricity-based defense mechanisms and a faint regenerative ability. Okay. Sky eels require very little sustenance, and they can be trained as simple, if not some affectionate pets. Well, I mean, what's the odds of reprisal if we attack them here? 10%. I don't want to piss them off, but I mean that would be pretty cool to get some of these as pets, right? Once we've busted through here, it's much easier to access the world at large. So maybe that's a priority we should push. Anyway, Bradley's on his way down here to mine us up some components. Hopefully we'll get very lucky on the rolls there and get 3 for each. We can get ourselves another 8 beds, or 4 beds rather, but I'm thinking we're going to get unlucky and probably be able to build 1 or 2. Alright, well, and just as we finish building our extra bed, we actually have Galatia here, who's decided to join us. She is a fantastic tamer. This would have been so great with the blood shrimps, but alas. She's also a decent intellect and a very good cook. Galatia, you are a very, very good android. She's a private creation, apparently. Gives her a bit of buff to intellectual there, and a gourmet chef. She won't do mining, which is a bit of a pain, because that's sort of everybody's default state, but whatever, we could use her. Galatia, we're going to make you, obviously, our primary animal handler. I think that makes a lot of sense. We're also going to get you to cook as a secondary function, and then you can research if you're not doing that. So this thing here, this Terramorph, just walked in while I was building this wall, and ate 200 of my steel in one go. Apparently they converted into sky steel or something, but screw this thing, man, it literally just ate, like, 20% of my steel stack over there. I had 1,000. So it needs to go bye-bye, I'm afraid. There we go. Okay, that's gonna be lunch. Oh, very expensive lunch, but lunch indeed. Yeah, no, not good. Don't like that. Alright, we sent Arnold up here on an exploratory mission to crack into this thing so we can see what our exit's going to look like. Now, it's not, unfortunately, it's sort of just not centered with our main tunnel, but that's fine, we can make it work. What we're going to want to do here is, I mean, we don't have to keep it in this exact shape. This was just kind of here already, so it made sense to make use of it. We can go ahead and cut out. I kind of like that they have to exit out the sides. That opens up some interesting defensive options. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with this tunnel to make it more defensible. And it looks like we've just so happened to stumble across another stack of components right here by our doorway. I mean, that is pretty good luck. We could leave this here, as it is actually a 2,000 strength wall, but if it gets damaged by gunfire, we'll actually end up getting far fewer components from it, so I'm fine with this. As you can see, I've also built 3 wide airlocks into this one. I think what I'm going to do is treat sort of this segment here as the, or we might not end up putting 2 doors in there. Maybe that is actually gratuitous. I don't know. I never know with these things. I can never decide on defensive formations in Rimworld. It is like the bane of my existence. And lo and behold, I don't know if you caught that there. I'm not sure if there it is. There is actually a geyser right here. It spawned underneath the rock. That is genuinely incredible. I had to go back and double check the footage. This thing is here. That is just ridiculous. Okay, so we need to move this wall a little bit. We can just sort of shift the kill box slightly to the left. I'm going to fill in these gaps and sort of build a death tunnel, I guess, going through this. They're going to come in here, and they're going to do a little wind around there, and we're going to sort of make them snake their way up towards us. Let's actually go ahead and clear out that wind turbine, because we're going to want to push this back a little. Yeah, if we can just flood them with gas, that's gonna make this pretty interesting, I think. We do also have a quest available to us. They will drop a mechanoid cluster with a proximity activator. Now that's fine with me. If it drops like, I don't know, here, then we just don't go there, right? If it drops here, that would be great. If it drops here, I'm kind of screwed for proximity sensors. So I'm really hoping it sort of drops outside of my little mountain. I have no idea though. So it's going to have a dagger snout, a lancer, a scyther, and that's not particularly dangerous. The auto charge turret does suck. These mini sluggers are not very dangerous, and that's for a bunch of goodwill with the Empire. I would very much like to be on the Empire's good side. If they're my allies, then when they pitch up for like collections and stuff, they'll actually help me out if I'm being attacked. Also, this caravan is coming up, and we're only on 70%. I might have to accept that quest fairly soon. Let's go ahead and accept the Scourge Cluster, I think just for something interesting to happen this episode. There we go. Where is it going to drop? That is the real question. Is there a timer on that? Does it come like 10 days afterwards? No, there it is. Okay, and it is dropping right outside my front door. Great. Just what I wanted. Oh, that is just fantastic. Okay. I guess in a way that's kind of like, you know, a ball in the pocket. We should be fine. That if anything comes to attack us through this door, well, now they've got to go through all this garbage first. This thing alone is going to keep us fairly safe. So what I'm just going to do is forbid these. It's a bit of a shame. I mean, we just put all this effort in to come out here, but I guess it is what it is, right? If we want to go out there, we have to go all the way around. And in fact, I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to expand this insects avoidance area to include all of this garbage. Okay, so nobody go anywhere near any of this. Well, I guess we can go inside our base, right? That's fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay, you can come inside, but don't go anywhere else. Where's the exclusion zone on this? Yeah, let's just play it safe and not go anywhere near it. Are we safe enough? Okay, well, I am actually going to have to allow a little bit of carryover here. We've got so we can get through to. Although I suppose, hold on, if we make sure they don't ever touch these borders, we should actually be able to walk around it fairly safely. So maybe we don't actually have to call this door locked for good. This is actually kind of great in a way, because I mean, it's not going to activate on its own. It's only if one of our people walks into it, and these guys don't go on mental breaks. So unless, or do any of them have degraded brains? Oh, I need health. Do we have any degraded mental states? No, we don't. Okay, so as long as none of them go into a daze while they're right next to it, we should be fine. And since we don't really have mood penalties with these androids, I don't see that being a problem just yet. Some visitors have decided to come and pay us a visit, and I need to make sure that they do not pass through this door, so I've forbidden it. Hopefully, they will respect that forbiddment, but I have a feeling they won't. The guests tend to kind of just do their own thing, and if these asshats... Oh, hold on, I can do this, though. I can set them to... Oh, God, so they're not actually guests yet. Oh, he's going to trigger it. Oh, man. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, come on, Nicholas, you bastard. Oh, wait, does he not count? Oh, no, he does. Okay, yep, that's, thanks, Nicholas. Appreciate... Oh, free hunting rifle, though, nice. And some riot gear, I guess. Oh, great, you're gonna keep the door open while you're working on that. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can't get Bradley to not hold open this door. Nicholas, you need to stay alive for, like, 10 more seconds, buddy. Okay, there we go. We're gonna want to get the whole crew involved on this one, I think. Yeah. This could. Oh, he took out this. He took out the scorpion. What's it called? The scyther. Nice. We also got a bunch of like really decent equipment from him. Adam's down. We can rescue him. These guys didn't actually become my guests yet, so we're not taking any penalties for them being attacked, which is fine by me. Okay, well the dagger snout's dead. Jesus, this is going well. We just have a lancer, a scyther, and a pikeman left to deal with. And they are dropping a bunch of good loot. That bolt-action rifle is going to change the game for us. Okay, Afton's going to make it, unfortunately, which means that if Adam dies out here, and he won't because he's not currently losing coolant, we shouldn't take any more debuffs to friendship. I don't know. I need to see if these mechs are going to come around or not. We might just have to write off this area for good, even though I'd really rather not. Come on, Bradford, make it, buddy. You can do this. We really need the medicine experience. Yes, Bradford. Good lad, good lad. Okay, so have they become guests yet? Yes, they have. Alright, we need to give them a couple of beds to recuperate in. I think this can be our awful guest room for now. And we'll just sort of get everybody comfy over there. Alright, and unfortunately we are in fact out of time for today. The colony is sort of in its infancy still. We had a good haul of rice come in, which I've now switched over to cotton. Unfortunately, we did have a power outage because of my stupidity. I was moving cables around and I deleted a connection over here, so we actually lost power to the base and nearly had a mining again, but I caught it just in time, and we're now eating through our supply of rice. Our batteries are dead though, so we're going to want to get some redundancy and power up pretty soon. Unfortunately, putting together these thermal coolers to reduce the base temperature has in fact run us dry on components, and we're going to need more of these things anyway. They're set to minus 29, so they're going to run constantly, basically, and as long as we don't have a consistent supply of power, they're also going to kill my batteries. However, I am very afraid of infestations, so if we can get that down to negative 17 at least a little bit, maybe it'll prevent a few. Now, this thing here is hooked up. We have a Hexalian gas vent. We're going to want to build a pipe right over there. For whatever reason, when they build walls or doors, it sort of deletes the pipe blueprints around them. It's a weird bug. I don't understand it. But we're going to basically fill this entire corridor with slate chunks and dead animal carcasses, make it as awful as possible for everyone walking through, and then flood it with noxious gas. I mean, this is about as Rimworld moment as it gets, so I guess we're just going to have to deal with it. Also, Poyo, we've kind of managed to build Sidious into a wall here, so let's set him free. Yeah, we have a bit to do. Anyway, Jamie has joined us. She is an animal geneticist. Let's go ahead and have a look at her. She is a T2, which is fantastic. Battle droid, who is incapable of violence. Okay, that's a bit odd. Oh well. A new lease on life for sure. Okay, Jamie is unfortunately attempting to path through here because she wants to harvest these berries. That's not gonna fly. Jamie, you're gonna go ahead and go that way, and we're gonna restrict you to mountain base. Okay, anyway, Jamie's name is now also up for grabs, of course, so we have, you know what, let me put all the named people in one place. Poyo, you come here. yeah, so that's it. Okay, so these 6 colonists are now available for naming. If you would like your name in game, drop a comment down below. Our new storyteller is Dalan Ilmu Langrath. Okay, I'm definitely butchering that pronunciation. I think it's Welsh. Let's have a look at him. So he is trying to keep us on the edge by keeping some small incident happening. Okay, well, I mean, this is very much just the Wave Survival Commander's image that's been stolen by whoever made this storyteller, but whatever, that's fine. We know what copyright infringement, who cares? Anyway, we have a lot of, basically this is another mime threat. Yeah, if he's doing a lot of small incidents, then that means we get a lot of mime events. Damn it. So we're going to want to be very, very careful in the next episode about our power consumption. Anyway, guys, that is all I have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.